Hello. How exciting this is. The year before last, I turned 50, and my husband, Michael Cathcart, and I commiserated by renting a little house on a Greek island for 4 months. We both took our laptops. Michael wrote a book, The Water Dreamers, which is in the bookshops now. And I wrote The Swimming Club. We were like George Johnson and Charmian Clift, without the tuberculosis. In fact, my mother used to write emails to Dear George and Charmian. And then as Christmas came and went, she wrote just to me, "Are you ever coming home? Don't you miss iceberg lettuce?" She's a nut. The significant part about our village, Molivos, on the island of Lesvos, and I note that it was also very meaningful to the Lonely Planet founders, Maureen and Tony Wheeler. Also, Leonard Cohen used to hang out there. Anyway, it was a significant place for me because I'd been there 25 years ago with another man and a group of friends when we were all 20 and reckless and rode motorbikes without helmets, when we laughed our way out of trouble. This was the kernel of the idea for the play. A group of people from different parts of the world became friends when they worked together at a taverna on the beach in 1983. And by the end of the summer, one of them had made 9,756 Greek salads. And every night after work, after the last bouzouki player stops, they go swimming in the dark, in the warm black Aegean, and they call themselves the Swimming Club. There are 7 characters in the play. 6 of them are in their 50s. They hail from Perth and Sydney. One of them lives in Toronto. Nikos is the European correspondent from The Guardian, currently living in Paris. And Jasper is the Slovenian who lives in a big house in Kent, who has a string of chemist shops in the UK called Bernie the Budget Chemist. And the 7th character is Sappho, the 17-year-old daughter of Kate and Dave from Perth. We meet everyone in their current situation and we flash back and forth over 25 years of memories until they come together for the reunion on the island. It's a big chill kind of play. I spent a lot of time wandering narrow little goat paths in those ancient bony hills, thinking about my friends, myself, my generation. The first of the Lonely Planet travellers. We got married, we divorced. Our children are teenagers, are older now. They're probably the first generation to go between houses because their parents are separated. We'd ring our ex-spouses and shout down the phone, "How come you've got all the underpants at your house?" And then there are the blokes who married for a 2nd or 3rd time and had to go through it all again doing the creche run at 50 with children called Tiffany or Sahara or Jackson with an X. There were also the men that I knew who married and tried to be heterosexual and finally had to fess up that they were probably, actually gay and face all the collateral damage to devastated wives and bewildered children. Amongst my generation of 50-somethings, there's cancer, breast cancer, there's elderly parents, there's Alzheimer's, and then there are those series of little compromises that you make along the way, helping yourself to other people's husbands, possibly engaging in a little insider trading, a little price fixing, a few illegal share deals here and there. And then it's the dorky one in your gang who ends up becoming ludicrously successful. And despite clinging to your socialist values, which you would never openly admit to these days, you do concede that the fact that he can afford to own his own apartment in Barcelona just really gives you the shits. But mostly this is because he was such a dickhead. Life is unfathomable. And then, of course, you can't talk about this generation without thinking about the GFC. When the media refer to the mum and dads of Australia, you never think, that's me. I never think that. And yet, of course, we are the ones in the eyes of the storm. So here you have a group of people in their 50s for whom everything is going a little pear-shaped. You're at work with all those nakedly ambitious 30-somethings who'll take over your office if you go away on holidays, who are always going on about their resumes, as if we ever bothered. Your children have become goths and locked themselves in their room and changed their name to Bat. And all you need is to listen to a bit of advice from the good people at Storm Financial. Or that smug relationship manager from the Commonwealth Bank who rings so regularly. They tell you that what you need to do to solve all your problems is to get a little equity out of your home. And for once in your life, you think, I'm going to be a bit sensible about money and the future, which I've never given a rat's about before, and so you mortgage your house to buy shares. What could be more grown up? We're the generation who find self-promotion and American-style ambition quite off-putting. We're still more comfortable with modesty. We're the ones who are still a bit embarrassed about money. We're the ones who were once Marxist and feminists, but anyone now who calls themselves a Marxist or a feminist makes the rest of us stare at the floor. And yet anyone amongst us who makes a lot of money has to have been exploiting someone somewhere, don't they? This is all the subject matter for the swimming club. It's funny, it's tragic, it's about the thrill and danger of swimming in the dark, and it's set on a beautiful Greek island. So if you can't actually be in Molivos in February, this is the next best thing. Thank you.